Hi, I'm Cheryl Boyle, a coach, a licensed professional counselor, clinical hypnotist, internal family systems level 2 trained, and a pre and perinatal educator. And what I've learned about hidden patterns of imposter syndrome, I am sharing with you now. These are numbers 21 to 30. As you listen for them, see which ones resonate with you. Number 21, do you rehearse conversations in your head before having them? Notice how much mental energy goes into anticipation before a conversation, a meeting, or even casual interaction. Do you find yourself running through different versions of what you might say? Do you rehearse responses, imagine questions, or plan how to avoid saying the wrong thing, sometimes long before the moment actually arrives? You can recognize this pattern in how crowded the mind feels. There's a constant effort to predict reactions, choose the safest wording, or manage how something will land. What looks like preparation is often an attempt to prevent discomfort, misunderstanding, or judgment before it even has a chance to happen. Over time, this kind of mental scripting drains energy and makes interactions feel heavier than it needs to be. In coaching, we build on building trust in your ability to respond in real time. Clients learn to notice when they're pre rehearsing and gently return to the present moment instead. As confidence grows, the need to script ahead fades. Conversations begin to feel more natural and alive, and women experience themselves as capable of meeting the moment without having to control it in advance. 22. Do you feel like you need permission to take up space? Reflect on how you occupy physical and emotional space. When you're in a room, a conversation, or a group, do you naturally settle in? Or do you stay slightly contained? Do you wait for cues, invitations, or reassurance before fully expressing yourself, even when you have something valuable to contribute? You can notice this in small, everyday moments. A woman sits a little quieter than she needs to. She holds back an opinion until someone else names it first. She adjusts her posture, her volume, or her presence so she doesn't feel like she's taking up too much room. None of this is about lack of confidence. It's about having learned that space had to be granted, not assumed. In coaching, we work on anchoring the belief that presence doesn't require approval. Clients learn to feel their right to be there in their body, not just understand it intellectually. Over time, taking up space begins to feel natural and steady. Expression no longer waits for permission. It flows from a grounded sense that presence is inherent, not something that has to be earned. 23. Do you avoid being the face of your work? Bring awareness to how visible you allow yourself to be. When it's time to share, promote, or present what you've created, do you hesitate? Do you prefer to stay behind the scenes even when your work is strong, impactful, and ready to be seen? You can recognize this pattern in how visibility gets outsourced. A woman builds something meaningful but lets the brand speak for her. She hides behind systems, teams, or processes, telling herself the work should stand on its own. While this may sound practical, underneath it's often about protecting herself from judgment, scrutiny, or being personally evaluated. In coaching, we work on making visibility feel safe instead of exposing. Clients learn to separate being seen from being judged and to recognize that their presence doesn't diminish the work, it completes it. Over time, stepping forward no longer feels like a risk. Presence begins to match contribution, and women allow themselves to be seen as the source of what they've built, not just the support behind it. 24. Do you believe confidence will come after the next achievement? Notice where you place confidence on your internal timeline. Do you tell yourself you'll finally feel confident once you reach the next milestone, after the next launch, promotion, certification, or goal? Does confidence feel like something you're waiting to unlock rather than something you're allowed to have now? You can recognize this pattern in how satisfaction keeps getting delayed. Each achievement is quickly followed by another goal, and confidence stays just out of reach. Instead of feeling more grounded, you feel like you're always preparing for the version of yourself who will eventually deserve to feel sure. In coaching, we move confidence out of the future and into the present. Clients learn how to practice self trust in real time through decisions, boundaries, and action rather than tying confidence to outcomes. Over time, confidence stops being a reward you chase and becomes something you build and live from right where you are. 25. Do you feel uncomfortable receiving recognition without effort attached? Reflect on how you relate to acknowledgement. When appreciation comes easily, without visible struggle, long hours, or sacrifice, does it feel uncomfortable or undeserved? Do you feel the need to explain how hard something actually was so the recognition feels justified? You can recognize this pattern in how ease gets discounted. A success that comes smoothly is minimized. Recognition is accepted only after effort is emphasized. Without struggle attached, the acknowledgement doesn't quite feel real or safe to receive. In coaching, we work on separating worth from effort. Clients learn that recognition doesn't require suffering to be valid. Over time, appreciation can be received without justification or explanation. Recognition begins to land fully, grounded in impact, not exhaustion, and women allow themselves to be acknowledged without needing to prove how hard it was. 26. Do you qualify your opinions with "I might be wrong"? Notice how you introduce your thoughts. When you have an idea, a perspective, or an insight, do you lead with uncertainty even when you're informed and experienced? Do your opinions come wrapped in disclaimers, as if you need to soften them before they're allowed into the room? You can hear this in the way sentences begin. Opinions are buffered. Statements turn into questions. Certainty gets diluted before it's ever expressed. This isn't about not knowing, it's about trying to stay safe by lowering the stakes before anyone can challenge you. In coaching, we work on helping women feel secure, standing inside their perspective. Clients learn to recognize when they're preemptively shrinking their voice and practice speaking with calm clarity instead. Over time, opinions no longer need protective language. Women begin to trust that their viewpoint has value simply because it's informed, thoughtful, and theirs, allowing them to speak with steadiness rather than self doubt. 27. Do you feel like the rest has to be earned? Bring awareness to your relationship with rest. When do you let yourself slow down? Is it only after everything is finished, handled, and crossed off? Or do you rarely feel truly done enough to rest at all? Does rest feel conditional, like something you're allowed only once you've proven you deserve it? You can notice this pattern in how rest keeps getting postponed. There's always one more task, one more thing to tidy up, one more responsibility to take care of first. Slowing down feels uncomfortable, even wrong, while pushing through feels familiar and disciplined. Rest becomes something to negotiate with instead of something to receive. In coaching, we work on reframing rest as a necessity rather than a reward. Clients learn how to recognize the internal rules that keep rest just out of reach and begin to question whether those rules are actually serving them. Over time, rest becomes part of sustainability, not a break from it. Women learn that slowing down doesn't threaten productivity or worth. It supports both, allowing energy, clarity, and motivation to last instead of burnout. Number 28, do you stay busy to avoid being fully seen? Notice how fullness and busyness intersect for you. When your schedule opens up or things slow down, do you instinctively fill the space? Do you keep yourself occupied so you don't have to sit with stillness or with the possibility of being seen more clearly? You can recognize this pattern in the way activity becomes a shield. Tasks stack up. Distractions multiply. Being productive feels safer than being present. Busyness creates movement and purpose, but it also keeps attention away from the parts of you that might feel exposed without something to do. In coaching, we create space without forcing stillness. Clients learn how to be present without performing, accomplishing, or managing perception. Over time, presence begins to feel steady rather than uncomfortable. Productivity no longer serves as protection, and women discover that they can be seen as they are without hiding behind constant activity. Number 29, do you feel like your role is conditional or temporary? Reflect on how secure your position feels internally. Even when you've been in a role for some time, does it feel tentative? Is there a quiet fear that 1 minute, one misstep, or one off day could undo everything you've built? This belief often reveals itself through constant extra effort. There's a drive to over prepare, over deliver, and stay indispensable, doing more than is actually required so your value never comes into question. Instead of feeling settled, the role feels like something that must be continuously upheld or defended. In coaching, the focus shifts from proving to grounding. Clients learn how to establish internal stability that isn't dependent on flawless performance or constant output. Over time, roles stop feeling fragile. They begin to feel earned, solid, and secure, something clients stand in with confidence rather than something they fear losing. 30. Do you struggle to say I'm proud of myself? Pause for a moment and gently try the words. I'm proud of myself. As you say them, what happens inside you? Do you catch it in your voice? Do you catch it with your throat? Do you feel the urge to soften them, laugh them off, or immediately add a qualifier? Does pride feel awkward, exposed, or somehow inappropriate to claim? For many women, pride learned early rules. It was something to manage carefully, not something to rest in. Confidence was acceptable only if it stayed quiet. Acknowledging yourself too clearly felt risky, like it might cross an invisible line or change how others saw you. So recognition got redirected outward or minimized before it could settle. In coaching, we help redefine pride as grounded self honoring rather than self importance. Clients practice acknowledging their effort, growth, and resilience without shrinking or correcting themselves. Over time, pride becomes calm and steady instead of uncomfortable. Saying I'm proud of myself begins to feel honest and solid, something that naturally coexists with humility, integrity, and deep respect. Now, these 10 imposter syndrome patterns I just walked you through, they're just the beginning. I actually have 100 of them wrapped into a confidence and self-trust threshold profile that contains those 100 questions that reveal not just which patterns you recognize in yourself, but how they interconnect, what triggers them, and most importantly, how to update them. What you've just experienced here is a small sample of what happens when we start mapping how systemic beliefs and hidden imposter syndrome actually operate in your specific system. But here's what most people don't realize: these aren't isolated thoughts or random doubts. They're part of a comprehensive internal architecture that's been quietly running your confidence decisions for years. I show you how to update them. Think of what you just experienced as seeing the tip of the iceberg. The full profile shows you the entire system underneath. Because here's what I've learned working with accomplished women: awareness alone isn't enough. You need to understand the specific blueprint of how your survival brain learned to question your expertise so you can consciously upgrade those survival strategies into authentic empowerment. When you know your exact pattern, not just that you have self doubt, but how your particular nervous system learned to create this through systemic beliefs and hidden imposter syndrome symptoms, you can finally stop fighting your intelligence and start redirecting it. With awareness of these patterns, you can metaphorically switch the switch to be able to change your self doubt or lack of confidence beliefs into the actual truth that you already have confidence. You just need to know how to use new adapted, upgraded coping mechanisms rather than the survival skills that these beliefs created. If you found yourself hesitating at any point while going through this, second guessing your expertise, wondering if your knowledge is enough, or feeling that familiar tug to over prepare before putting yourself out there, you're not alone. These aren't mindset issues. They're intelligent survival strategies that once kept you safe, but now keep you invisible. The real question isn't whether you know how to reset your confidence. It's whether you trust yourself enough to claim the authentic confidence that your experience deserves. Are you ready to go deeper? If you're tired of having brilliant ideas but struggling to put them into the world with confidence, I have two resources that will help you understand what's actually happening beneath the surface. You can get my free guide, 10 Middle of the Night Questions. The link is right here in this video, and it will be in the first comment as well. These are the 10 questions that entrepreneurs ask themselves when systemic beliefs and hidden imposter syndrome show up. Discover why success still feels tense and why conversations replay long after they end. Join me at my free events at anempoweredlady.com/events, where we'll work together on the internal recalibration that turns strategy into sustainable success. Because the best reset in the world won't help you if you're not ready to be seen. Your expertise is real, your knowledge matters. Now let's make sure your nervous system knows it too. You have everything you need within you. And again, the link is here right in this video as well as in the first comment. Thank you for your time. I look forward to getting to know you better if you're ready to move forward. Have a blessed day. Bye.